Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. 3/4 of the way through July, and it's kind of a tough week for stock market, really. We had the IWM Russell leading up 1.6%. Dow was also up 0.6, so that's not too bad. But the S&P was pretty convincingly negative, down 2% for the week. The Q's even worse, down 4% for the week. So wasn't great, especially in a lot of the stocks that had been working the most reliably going back a while. You know, all semiconductors had a hard time. FANG stocks, these things were kind of falling out of bed a little bit. So, yeah, our leadership stocks got Apple was the best, down 2.5, 2.6%. Worst was Nvidia, down 9%, almost 8.5, 9%. Amazon also down 6%. Meta down 4. Google down 4. Microsoft down 3.5 ish. Tesla down 3.5 ish. So bad week for these guys. They seem to be in kind of a corrective pattern, which is going to make it tough for the Nasdaq and the overall market. So see how that develops. From industry perspective, a little bit mixed. Utilities were green, industrials were green, services, financials, and consumer were flat to slightly positive. And then healthcare was a loser, tech was a loser, and basic materials were losers. If we look at subsectors, there's a lot of kind of financial mix to these. A lot of the regional banks that have been struggling for a long time were sort of taking the reins from the tech stocks this week, and that's about it. That's really the only. Okay, we've got some construction subsector on here too. On the downside, we've got a little bit more of a selection. So semiconductors are sprinkled in here, different types, but they're all down fairly large. Copper, solar, EVs, these things were all getting whacked. Other EVs, aluminum, and see some of these other things, gene editing, drug delivery. I mean, they're not down 5%, but they're kind of right there. Spec bio type stuff. So, bit of a tough week in the market. Things. We've got our market breadth by market cap. So 1 to 5 billion cap stocks, up 1% for the week. Not horrible, kind of just slightly below the Russell. 5 to 10 billion, up 11 tenths, worse than the Russell. Large caps 10 to 50 billion, down 0.5%. So, and 50 to 100 billion, up 6 basis points. I mean, flat compared to the S&P is not horrible. And TerraCap's 100 billion plus, down 1.7%. So that was kind of the drag on the market, and also these have been the biggest winners. They're pulling back, so it didn't feel great if you were still 100% in these names. So overall, I would say breadth was mixed-ish, even though the market S&P and Nasdaq were down fairly convincingly. For this week, we've got Bitcoin bullish, more Bitcoin bullish. TBT, I think, is short bonds, short treasuries. Uranium bullish, blockchain bullish, and Apple is bullish. So Not really that much stuff on here, or like not providing a ton of information. If you look on the downside, worst performer for the week should be Bear Gold. So bullish gold miners. Bear ETF is bearish. Bear Nvidia ETF is bearish, so bullish Nvidia. Regional banks that were big winners in the prior week, they're rated bearishly this week. We've got inverse FANG is bearish, so bullish FANG. Some Bitcoin thing. Internet Dow Internet stocks bearish for this week. S&P bear is bearish, so bullish S&P this week. Ultra short Qs is bearish, so bullish the Qs this week. And okay, same thing. Technology and bear tech is bearish, and VIX is bearish. So I mean, I think kind of you're going to see a little bit of a choppy week into the end of the, toward the end of the month. We've got here, we did have these overbought signals in the market, like from before. We're kind of not quite there, but we're sort of heading down toward the oversold range of things, which would, hopefully put in some kind of tradable bottom, at least in the S&P and NASDAQ. For this coming week, I think, like I said, it's going to be choppy. I think you're going to see follow through early in the week, like to the downside. Um, if if there's some sort of weak bounce early in the week, I would not really be that encouraged by it. I'd sort of look for another bit of a plunge if that were the setup, if you want to call it that. If we can sort of follow through and sell off and hit the sort of capitulation phase early in the week, then that would be more favorable in my opinion. So we'll look out for that. We'll see how it goes. But other than that, yeah, summer months. So, we're all kind of just waiting for market participants to really come back and show us what's going on. So that's all from me. Hope you guys have a good week out there, and talk later. Bye.